L from elbowpepper.com here. I've begun using the second chamber of my Joraform composting unit. The first chamber that I had just about completely filled up has slowed down in its composting to the point that I think it's fairly well finished. This is my first time actually taking compost out of this unit, so I'm going to give it a shot. I have a wheelbarrow here, but it's kind of tight, so I'm going to see how it goes and take a look at some of the compost that I pull out. I'm going to try this out, see how easy it is to get out and how it looks once I've collected this stuff. What I've gotten out of here is some rich black looking compost. One thing I do notice right away that the moisture levels are very high in this, so you're not really seeing it break apart and look all powdery in consistency. Honestly, as I look at it, it actually reminds me of manure, but I can see that stuff's very well broken down, so I'm really anxious to combine this into my bed where I'm going to be starting my fall planting of garlic. It'll have the entire winter to continue to break down however much more it's going to. The one thing that I did notice though is the height of this regular standard wheelbarrow that I have is such that you can't really fit it underneath, and so you can kind of do what I was doing and just pull a little bit out. But if you want to just be able to dump this all out, it's not going to dump into a regular wheelbarrow. So I may just try dumping it straight onto the ground and try to collect it and see how much of a debacle this becomes. In fact, I think I'm going to try it right now. Let's see how easily this dumps out if you just turn it completely upside down and let it go onto the ground. Well, I completely emptied out the chamber, and so that's what was left. It really looks a lot like poop, but it doesn't really smell like poop. It's not bad. So I'm going to mix it into the soil, and we'll see how well it does. I filled that right chamber to where there was probably only about 6 inches or less at the very top that was empty space. And then that quickly began to break down until I got to the point today where only half of it was filled with actual compost because of so much breaking down and condensing. I've now emptied it completely out in that right chamber, and I've managed to fill this wheelbarrow halfway. So I think it's a substantial amount of compost, especially considering that I was using a lot of material that I ordinarily would have just thrown out for garbage collection. We're talking about stuff like weeds that maybe some would consider to be invasive, things that were deadheaded, so there's seeds in there, things that maybe showed signs of disease, a lot of stuff like that. And I can tell that it's definitely broken down, so now I just have to see how this all works through the upcoming season, and can't wait to try it out.